my feel-good breakfast show.
This is a feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, and this morning we are looking after you. Now, earlier we mentioned that divorce rates across the world, it's higher than before. We are wondering, how come our parents could stay together for so long? But why are relationships breaking up? We are protecting our children this morning, and we're taking your calls on 083-913-3728. In our studio also, our counselling psychologists taking your calls this morning. Astrid and Natasha, welcome to the show again. Now, earlier we touched on children and the impact it has on our children. Please continue.
Yeah. I was saying that the parental relationship continues even after divorce. And because of that, it is crucially important how you're going to break this news to the children. And I want to add on to what Natasha said earlier. A counsellor can assist you with that. But it's important to know that there is no recipe for how to tell the children. There are some guidelines. One needs to possibly, hopefully, tell them together and tell them at home, not in a public place like a restaurant. And then as parents, you have to be prepared for a variety of responses, ranging from fear about the future, deep sadness to, on the other hand, possibly relief that the fighting and the bickering is finally over.
Natasha, this is very hard on the children. What does it feel like for them? I mean...
Well, as Astrid said, there are a variety of responses, but most often children experience a sense of responsibility for the breakdown of their parents' marriage, because it's really hard for them to understand how they cannot in some way be responsible for something that has such a profound effect on their little lives. There's an overwhelming body of research which suggests that the higher the level of conflict between the parents, obviously the greater the impact, the negative impact on the child's adjustment. So it's very important for parents to try and attain an amicable co-parenting relationship, and also very important for them to ensure that they're receiving adequate emotional support during this time.
You just said a beautiful word, the word amicable. Well, we're taking your calls this morning, 083-913-3728. We're talking about divorce and especially the impact that it has on our children. Also this morning, I can't help but thinking that divorce is a messy business. There's a book out there that's called A Breakup Because It's Broken. So you're not going to try and mend it if it's broken already. But is there no other better way to do it? I mean, what about a mediation, for example? Do you get someone else to tell the kids? I mean, this is an expensive business.
Yeah, I think divorce primarily is a relationship problem and not a legal problem. Or secondarily, it can be a legal problem. And that is why litigation isn't always the most appropriate way to deal with divorce. But over the last decade or so, internationally and in South Africa, mediation has certainly become a trend. And mediation allows the couple to sit around a table with a mediator and to discuss all different aspects of their divorce. And it tends to be quicker and therefore less expensive. And it has an educational component to it because you can learn in mediation that there are ways of resolving your disputes. You don't have to fight about everything.
About everything. Awesome stuff in our studio as we're trying to motivate you this morning. 083-913-3728 if you have a question or comment about divorce. We've got Natasha and we also have Astrid in our studio this morning who is answering your questions. Well, we're thinking of our parents and how they stay together 30 years and plus. We do wonder what the secret is, and we're about to hear what it is. But before we even get there, we're talking parenting. Yes, Gray.